What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 33 and we're starting today's stuff with Brighton away at the Amex on the south coast, coming on the back of our win over Chelsea. Lord knows we needed that. First win against the top 6 team all season long, and now 6 wins in a row in all competitions. It'd been a tough start to the season for Forest, I'm not going to lie. Now back into a European place, into 7th. The question is, can we stay there? Well, as we know, consistency is the name of the game. 6 wins in a row in all competitions. We want to stay in the top 7. We got to keep it going. So, yeah, first game, Brighton away as we approached halfway stage of the season, right from kickoff in attack mode, and 3 minutes in, well, top scorer for Forest last season, top scorer in the league right now, does it once again. Ivan the Shocker Toney. I love this guy. I really, really do. 14 goals in 15 games. In the last episode, I talked about him at length. My greatest striker ever. I think undisputedly so now, and continuing to do it after a brilliant patch of form. 8 minutes in, we stayed in attack mode, and we continue to get the rewards. Right now, there is no stopping him. And I love it when you've got a striker who, like, every single game you go into, it's not a question of will he score, it's a question of how many will he score. That's how I'm feeling right now with the Shocker. A brace inside the opening 8 minutes and we lead by 2. At half time, still up by 2, I continue to stay in attack mode, look for more goals, and we got one 3 minutes after the restart. This guy is really turning into an unsung hero in this team. Fred, the Red, that's his 3rd goal of the season, I think it is now, 3rd or 4th goal for the Brazilian. It's 3-0 Nottingham Forest, and I'll be totally honest here, after I went 3-0 up, I kind of just passed the ball around and dominated possession. One thing I think I really need to learn to do, which I started doing last year, is, I say last year as in FIFA 22, not last season, is to just pass the ball around and kill games off. Because sometimes I get caught out that way, you know, playing an all-out attack style of play is the way to go in FIFA nowadays. I really do believe that, because as we know, goal gluts are so common. Very, very hard to get the ball out of the back of your own net. So, yeah, going all out attack, I think, is probably the right way to get the results, you know. But sometimes you just got to know when to kill it, you know. And this was one of those games. We were leading by 3. After we scored that 3rd goal through Fred, Brighton did have a decent chance, which Henson made a save for. Didn't include a highlight, but they had a chance to possibly get a glimmer of hope. They probably wouldn't have come back, but it could have made me feel a little bit nervous. And in the end, you would have seen by the stats there, we scored 4 goals in that game. And we took 4 shots. We were very, very clinical. Every single chance resulted in a goal. And the quality of chance was very, very high as well, as our possession was much higher than Brighton's. Sometimes you've just got to know when to put your foot on the ball and say, do you know what? Take the sting out of the game. You've got your goals. You've got your lead. Just conserve energy and just take any kind of threat away from your opponent by passing them to death. We did that in that game there, 4-0 win, and the winning run extended to 7. Question is, could we keep it going? Well, Thursday night, final game of the Europa League group stage. Bordeaux at home, heading into the game after winning our following 4 after losing on the opening night at home to Celtic. We knew, win this game and we guaranteed top spot. Qualification already in the bag, but as I mentioned in the last episode, qualifying top of the group brings its own reward, and that is that you miss out of playing in the preliminary round, you get a bye, you go straight through to the first proper knockout round, if you will. So a win in this game would guarantee it, and we got it as well. Most of the team was rested. I felt pretty confident, in great form right now, and the way we've responded after the Europa League group winner. And again, you look at the stats here, man. Goodness gracious me. Took an early 2-goal lead. First through Taiwo and then Dominic Solanke. And oh my god, it was like a 79% possession. Yeah, just knew at that point. Just kill the game off. Get it done, which we did. Celtic beat Midtjylland. We did need to win in the end, but that does confirm it there. We are group winners. Celtic coming through with us as runners-up, and we will miss out at the preliminary round and go straight into the first knockout round proper. So there we go, another win. It is now 8 in a row for Nottingham Forest. A little bit of a concern though, 2 injuries in the game. You would have seen there we got a knock for both Taiwo and also Worrell as well. 5-day injury for Taiwo, but for Worrell out for 4 weeks. Obviously, Curtis Jones is still down. Lincoln is still down. We've seen injury for Donny van der Beek this season. We've had quite a lot of injuries this season. As we know, Lincoln is down for the rest of the season. Won't be long until we see Curtis Jones back in the team. But, you know, I mentioned this, was it the last episode, the episode before that? You know, this is realistic. Like, this is realistic. I know it's frustrating, don't get me wrong. I know it can be really, really irritating. irritating, but it's just one of the simplest tips I can give people. You know, and I get comments every now and then, or tweets every now and then, and it's kind of like a similar question of, you know, how do I make the game feel more realistic, like yours says? How do I make the game feel more immersive, like yours says? It's probably the simplest but best tip I can give. Increase the injury sliders, because otherwise you're not going to get many injuries. But, you know, we're a team in the Europa League now. Like, we're playing Thursday night football with a heavy fixture schedule, right? We've got 38 Premier League games. We've gone far in the Carabao Cup. We've got a quarter-final to come against Brentford. And when it comes around in January, we'll start our FA Cup campaign as well. Most weeks we have 2 fixtures, you know, one on the Saturday, or well, mostly on the Sunday now, and also on the Thursday as well. And then occasionally you've got a Tuesday or Wednesday night game in the League Cup too. We're playing a lot of games. We don't have a fixed squad, so there is rotation, yes, but obviously a lot of our players have to play midweek and on the weekend as well. It's only natural we're going to see more knocks appear than we would in the previous 2 seasons when we weren't playing in Europe. It's a very simple tip, but think about it. If you're playing in Europe and you've not got a bigger squad, up the injury sliders. For the realism, it makes a lot of sense, because you know your players are going to pick up little knocks here and there, as our team have as well. Anyway, third game of today's episode, I was thinking, right, oh god, I was not looking forward to this. Why is that? We're taking bottom of the league at home. So I was thinking, alarm bells flashing, because you know these can be the toughest games to win. Taking on Swansea, 8 wins in a row in all competition, and I was worried. I was nervous, because you know how it feels taking on bottom of the league at home in FIFA. Well, thankfully, we took a 2-goal lead while Swansea did grab a goal back. Alex Mighton came off the bench to make it 3-1 and wrap the points up with a dagger. When Swansea got that goal back, I was like, oh god, here we go. Here we go. They're going to come back from 2-0 down and claim a point. And thankfully, they did get 2 goals in the game. Michael Obafemi in stoppage time got another. We held on for the win and scraped past the Swans with a goal victory. Alex Mighton, by the way, playing for a contract, out of contract at the end of the season. I don't know if I'm going to give him one, to be honest. I don't know. He was out on loan in season 1. Didn't play much last season, but that's his first goal this year, and it proved to be a crucial one as we held on for the win 3-2. So 9 wins in a row for Nottingham Forest, and finally, after a tough start to the season, we've gone into our best patch of form as I just notched up my 50th career win. But talking of form, right now we're in great form, and one club in real life are out of form, and they've just sacked their manager. Yeah, Steven Gerrard sacked on Thursday night after their loss to Fulham 3-0 at Craven Cottage. You know, just real briefly, my thoughts on this. We've seen another manager sacking, and I do talk a lot about how I think nowadays the powers that be, the board, the hierarchy at clubs can be a little bit trigger happy when sacking managers early on into a season. You know, we've seen already this season that Wolves have sacked Jose Sarr, Brighton have sacked Thomas Tuchel. Obviously now Gerrard's gone. It's very, very common now for clubs to pull the trigger early. I mean, Jesse Marsh at Leeds is under pressure. There is a little bit of pressure on Steve Cooper, not in the Forest. Brendan Rodgers hanging on in there at Leicester as well. But I think for Gerrard's sake, whilst I do feel a bit sorry for the guy, I think some of the players let him down, and some things haven't quite gone his way. I actually felt on Thursday night that the sending off for Douglas Luiz, I thought that was really, really harsh, I must admit. Now, don't get me wrong, the rules are the rules. You know, you put your head together, it's most likely going to be a straight red card, as it often is nowadays for a headbutt. They checked on the VAR, they deemed it was worthy of a red card. But I did feel a bit sorry for the guy because, you know, I mean, to me, Mitrovic and Douglas Luiz had the same kind of... Maybe I needed to slow down the replay even further and look at it from a different angle. But from what I saw from the VAR replay, it seemed as though the contact was the same. It's just Mitrovic was the one that hit the floor like a ton of bricks, you know, and he's 6'2", 6'3", Mitrovic, you know. And for Douglas Luiz, I think height was against him there, you know, because he had to lean up, so it seems as though he's putting his head into Mitrovic. It seemed as though, but they both did the same thing though, to be fair. It was just Mitrovic got away with it and Douglas Luiz did not. I think personally a yellow card for both players would have sufficed, but even so, that's the red card. They still lost the game 3-0 regardless. Whilst I do feel a little bit sorry for Gerrard, don't get me wrong, some things haven't gone his way this season. That is true. I think you look at the quality of players at his disposal as he beat his team here 4-0 away at Villa Park to extend the winning run to double digits. You look at the quality at his disposal. Emi Martinez between the sticks, Emi Buendia, who I've always been a big fan of, Philip Coutinho, he's fell off it hard this season. No one's going to deny that, but even so, Tyrone Mings, Ezri Konsa, this is a decent team. This is a really, really decent team, and I just feel under Steven Gerrard, I just didn't really know what Aston Villa were trying to do. I talk about it a lot, club identity, club culture, club play style. These things are really important. It's all well and good having superstars. It's all well and good having a great set of players out there, but you've got to have those three things, an identity, a culture, and a play style. And I don't really think at Aston Villa anyone really knew what they were doing under Steven Gerrard. I don't think the players totally bought into what he was trying to do, because I don't even know what the plan kind of was with Aston Villa. I don't really know what he was trying to build there at Villa Park. So whilst I'm normally quite, understanding or empathetic towards managers to get sacked early into a season, I think for Gerrard's sake, there was just no upwards trajectory under Gerrard, and it was so uncertain. And I really feel as though if they had a proper vision, maybe I could understand it, but I just didn't really see one, personally speaking. The Villa fans wanted him gone, and I have to say, I think, personally speaking, I actually think it's good for both Gerrard and Aston Villa as well. I don't think they were going to go anywhere this season under him. I couldn't see them having an amazing cup run and possibly reaching Wembley, or, for example, having an amazing second half of the season resurgent and finishing in the top 10. I couldn't see that under Gerrard this season. I really, really couldn't. I think the best they could do is just above the drop zone where they are right now. So I think it was right for Villa to sack Steven Gerrard, I must admit. Hopefully they can bring someone in with more of a long-term vision. But also as well, I think with Gerrard's sake, I think to be honest here, he was on borrowed time anyway. The sooner he's out the door, the better, because now he can start to rebuild and try and rebuild his managerial career elsewhere. I think really he might not realise it at the time, but it probably was good for him going as early as he did into this season, because I don't think they were going anywhere under Gerrard this season. I really don't. And I hope now they can bounce back once they get a new manager in. Who's going to be though? Mauricio Pochettino, Sean Dyche, lots of questions. Thomas Frank apparently has been linked to Aston Villa. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Even so, after the win over Villa 4-0, we follow a win against West Ham. The winning run continues for Nottingham Forest. Amazing streak, 11 in a row in all competitions. Our best run of form of the save, let alone the season. And Forest have gone from being outside the top 7 into the top 4. 5 points behind the Red Devils, 1 game to go in the halfway point, and Nottingham Forest are in a Champions League place. Question is, how long can we keep it going? But that wins this episode of Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have done, please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.